And we are live. Great. I just put this again. All right. Hey, Richie.
Hey, what's
Nice
up,
to
brother?
have
How you
you on
doing, man?
board.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate it. You know, I've always had love for you and just just everybody everybody that's ever talked about you, man. It's always good people, and they always say amazing things about you. So, man, you know what I'm saying? We've been friends for a while now, and man, this is an honor for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like super happy that you asked me to be on here, and yeah, I'm excited, brother.
Yeah, I'm really appreciated. We've known each other for like I
A
feel like
minute.
7 years, something like that.
Yeah, pretty
Like
much, man. Pretty much
like
through
almost
eight.
almost right after you started the 10 Planet San Diego.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, and throughout the ADCCs and stuff like that, you know, we've always kind of stayed connected. I felt I had a good bond with you. You know what I'm saying? And I've always felt like you were just so genuine. So it made me just kind of like open up and become friends. You know what I'm saying? It's always
Yeah,
been good.
always big. I think it was the Florida trials that we met first time. At least that
Yeah, I
was the
believe
first time that
so.
we actually talked more.
Yeah, we actually did talk. I remember I couldn't make weight, and you guys were like cheering me on to make weight, man. And it definitely took me a while to make the 77 kg or
Yeah, that
whatever.
was
And I was struggling, man. I think I was the last guy to actually weigh in.
yeah, and it was
And
right on the last minute too. So it was
yeah. And I was running outside in the blacktop, and I was like dying. And then I remember you guys were like cheering me on. Come on, you could do this. You could do this. And I was like, all right. And you know what I'm saying? Like honestly, like your guys' support that day made me want it more, man. Made me appreciate what you guys do for the athletes and stuff like that. So I really did appreciate it. And after that, I feel I had a good connection with like all the refs and the guys that work for ADCC, man.
I think it took you like half an hour, maybe 45 minutes to get that last quarter of a pound. I remember
I
I
was
was sitting outside drinking Coke or something in the shadows and you were running like hell outside. I was like, dude,
oh
just cut the beard and you'll be fine.
I remember you telling me that too. I was like, oh dude, I
And you're
was
like,
like
man, I'd rather go
it
to
was kind of
88%.
tempting. It was kind of tempting, and I'm like, nope. There's better ways. There's a better way, man. I'm happy I did it, though. I'm happy I did it.
Yeah, it was great. The Florida trials were pretty good as well. It like
Yeah, they had a
the
lot of
general
good
the
people
whole
coming
trials.
out, man. A lot of people's first times. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe that was Gordon's first trials as well. You know,
Yeah,
and
it was.
yeah, along with myself and a couple other people, and I felt it was real cool, man, to see like a lot of those same people eventually like shine. You know, whether it was an ADCC or in other tournaments. You know, a lot of the guys that competed that day did real well for their jiu-jitsu. You know. So it was
Yeah,
really cool to like see them all blossom afterwards.
for sure, for sure. Yeah. And well, you yourself haven't been able to get to the finals yet, but your brother has been in
Yeah,
the
and you
finals.
know, luckily, like I've been there the whole ride. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been there to you know, to Brazil and when they went to Finland as well. You know what I'm saying? And I had such a blast out there. Just you know, just being out there, man. It's you guys run a really good show, and of course the United States one. You know what I'm saying? Like that was amazing. Of course, like next level stuff right there. So man, you guys run a good show. Real welcoming show as well. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys, the way you guys do your tournament always makes us want to, like the athletes always want to go back. You guys make us feel so welcome that we're like, man, I wanna compete for them again. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's always very welcoming, and it's you guys, the way you guys you know what I'm saying, like even though you guys don't notice it, like I feel you guys push us to better ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like whether it's with the rules or the way you guys just are just there supporting, man. You guys support that event so well, man. It's always a good like a good place to be as a competitor.
Yeah, there's a certain prestige to the ADCC tournaments as well. It's like it's only every second year and only 16 person per weight category, which is only 5 weight categories for male,
For sure.
gets to the final tournament. So it's like it truly is the Olympics of grappling, what I
Yeah.
think.
And how do you feel about it? You like it a lot, or are you kind of like on the fence? Like, I mean, I'm sure you love it. You've been in AGCC official for a very long time, and like I'm
Yeah.
sure you're in love with the event as well, man.
Well, I've been with ADCC as a referee since 2007, so for sure there's a big place for ADCC in my heart.
Sure.
But at the same time, I've also been around with many big tournaments, and I've been involved with many big tournaments besides ADCC as well. And of course, ADCC is always run by local promoters. It's never been run by ADCC after 2000 when 2001
Sure.
when ADCC was the last time in Abu Dhabi. And it's a little bit different from, let's say, from IBJJF or some other organizations in terms of that. But as an officials, because all the referees and main officials come from the ADCC, so it's always, we try to make the tournament run as smoothly as possible. So it's
Of course.
sometimes especially in some further places, it's a little bit of wild ride, but it's always fun.
But I mean, you're always gonna have that, you know what I'm saying? No matter what, like there's always gonna be some sort of up and downs. But even though there's downs, like you guys never show it. You know what I'm saying? You guys show a good poker face, you know, and I feel that that's why we appreciate it a little bit more, man. Like you guys never show what's happening behind the scenes. You guys always are real professional about it, and you know, you guys always kind of like I said, like you guys hide it in a good poker face, you know what I'm saying? And you guys keep on going forward and have good attitude with it no matter what. And you know, for me as a competitor, like I always appreciated that, and it always makes me want to go back. You know, like whether it's like just watching or whether it's competing. You know, like you guys make it me want to go back and you know, and it's because of you guys. You know what I'm saying? Like all you guys have good attitudes, good characters, and you know, like you guys. Without the officials and Mo and all you guys all involved, man, it wouldn't be what it is now. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys make the show. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the competitors and stuff like that, but you guys are the guys behind the scenes and pushing forward, man. And I really appreciate that as a competitor, bro.
Thank you. Of course, at least what I can say for myself is that I really appreciate the camaraderie between the fighters. It's not like before, when I was doing jiu-jitsu and I was refereeing jiu-jitsu and grappling tournaments, I was doing taekwondo and refereeing taekwondo tournaments around Europe. The atmosphere between the referees and officials and the coaches and the fighters was totally different. It was like them versus us kind of mentality. And in the grappling community, it seems that it is like a family. Like Tony Torres, we all know and love Tony Torres. He always, when he comes to the ADCC events, he says that he loves to come to these family reunions. And that's
nice.
That's what I actually feel as well. Like when we're in the big tournament and I see all the familiar faces around the world, and everybody's very welcoming and very friendly and very warm, and it really feels like family reunion. It's awesome.
Man, it really does, man. It really does. And yeah, man. But how's everything over there where you're at right now, man? Are you guys able to do jiu-jitsu at all right now over there where you guys are at?
Our club just started this week, so I've had one training at our club this week.
Oh, nice.
It was yesterday.
How has it been, man? It's been crazy, right? Like how have you like dealt with them, man? Because I mean, I know over here, like it's been super hard for a lot of us, man. Like especially for me. But how has it been for you, bro?
Well, for our club, because we are a non-profit, so it was a little bit easier because we didn't kind of lose money. Of course, we paid the rents and stuff like that, but
of course,
our rent is really low because it's one of our friends who owns the property, and he wanted us to have the place for the gym. So we practically lose nothing, and
that's cool.
But it was just the frustration of the people practicing that they couldn't go and train.
Yeah.
That was frustrating.
It was definitely frustrating.
For a gym, it was pretty okay. We just kept the doors closed for 2.5 months.
Yeah.
We just yesterday opened. We can open. We decided that we open for small, isolated groups. So we formed the groups of maximum 10 people.
Yeah.
Those groups train together, and we don't mix and match the groups. So every group just trains with that individual group. So
yeah.
I hope we can open normal functions soon enough.
For sure. I like over here, like we barely started going to like, you could eat at a restaurant. Are you guys able to eat at restaurants and stuff yet or not yet?
Monday restaurants open. Yeah.
Okay. Dope. Yeah, man. It's been good. Like the first time we went to go eat sushi, man, it was weird, man. You know what I'm saying? You're just like, I'm free. They almost felt like you were like in jail for a while, man. It felt very good, man. Like it's such an awkward time, man. And you know, for my gym, like we're still not officially open, but we're having small groups, stuff like that. And it's just kind of like it's a weird time, but man, like I feel that even weirder in the United States right now with all the protesting and rioting, you know, like even though like there's a lot of good involved with it, like there's a lot of bad as well. You know what I'm saying? People are trying to stand up for the rights of the people, but then like there's of course your bad seeds always, you know, but man, it's definitely like a tough time over here, especially like coming like back to back like tragedies. You know what I'm saying? You got the COVID-19 tragedy, they of course affected the whole world, and now you have the what happened to of course the African American guy that they got murdered, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I feel that one of the reasons is because of lack of training, lack of you know, discipline from the cops. And it's like, man, even though like a lot of people are like protesting, like there's a lot of people that are doing it for the wrong reasons, you know, when there's man, that you could do this in a positive way to like, you know, say show awareness and you know, we could eliminate racism. Like a lot of people are like, you know, saying doing it the wrong way, you know, and it's like affecting like, of course, the America, you know what I'm saying? Like we could make a change now, and I feel that it's kind of directed the wrong way because of all the negativity that's happening, whether like it's breaking into buildings and looting and stuff. And I'm like, it's so bad. But man, I feel that hopefully like it's able to be controlled and we can make a change. And then after that change, we could start our life all over again and start, of course, like with our jiu-jitsu and, you know what I'm saying? And stuff that could spread positive vibes throughout the world. Cause I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, I feel people are so frustrated with what's happening already. And it just kind of like lit a fire in everybody's butt, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just like everything went even crazier because of everybody's being like secluded and just basically like stuck in our house, you know? So, but man, as soon as hopefully everything's able to get control, and then we could kind of spread love and peace again, you know, like we usually do, especially for, of course, like jiu-jitsu. I feel that that's the best way to spread love, you know what I'm saying? Just showing one another how to protect yourself and just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, be better person, you know what I'm saying? Be a better you know, and I feel jiu-jitsu does that. So I can't wait to be able to open up my gym and, you know, so people could have some sort of like stress relief or just, you know, positive life now after all this craziness, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I think a lot of the reasons of the rioting starting and the things going overboard is because of the lockdowns that been going on in America. Like it's been 2.5 months, 3 months there as well. And people are frustrated. They're losing their jobs.
100%.
They're angry at the government, and that was kind of like a good excuse to go overboard.
For sure.
I think it's good idea to protest when you see something's going wrong.
100%.
I 100% condone all the protest and all the anger. I understand the anger, but burning down local business, burning down houses, burning down cars, looting, whatever, it's not the way to go. There's always some people who wants to see the world burn, so they try to make whatever they can.
Of course. And for me, like myself, I'm angry as well. You know what I'm saying? I feel it's that there's better ways to deal with a person, and but there is a lot of racism, and we have to eventually slowly like come together so we could eliminate racism, you know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Yeah,
I
for sure.
always preach, like, for me, it's like, I try to spread love, not, you know what I'm saying? Like even on the mats, you know what I'm saying? Enjoyment. I try to make people enjoy what I do, and you know what I'm saying? Like, just give a platform for myself to spread love, you know what I'm saying? Like, if then show art, you know, and I feel art is, it's creating love. But at the same time, it's like, you know, it does anger me, and it does like bother me the way that certain people and certain officers take upon themselves to do this crazy stuff, you know. And it's like I said, man, it's lack of training, you know what I'm saying? Lack of order and lack of discipline, and that's the biggest thing. It's like this person like murdered somebody because of his lack of discipline. You know what I'm saying? He was angry, and he was and he was obviously racist, you know what I'm saying? And because he already had like different you know what I'm saying, like they already written him up for that stuff, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, yeah,
it's a shame that it had to be like that at this time. And it's a shame that it had to be at any time, you know what I'm saying? But now that it's happened, it's like we can't let that stir up the pot so much that it's gonna burn our world down where we live at. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because it's
for
like,
sure.
even though we want to burn the world, like we want to show how angry we are, and show that there's a different way. It's like, we can't burn this place down. We have to do it different ways, because we have people following us, like kids and stuff, and we have to lead them the right way, so in the future this kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore. And you know, I just hope that we find a way to kind of like diffuse the fire, you know what I'm saying? Diffuse the fire, and hopefully we could start creating a different way to create peace, and to show people that there's a different way, you know,
Yeah, for sure.
you know, hopefully then we could start showing the way of jiu-jitsu, which is self-discipline, and the right way to do things. And you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the mat, it doesn't matter what race you are, the mats, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel diffuses racism, you know what I'm saying? And if you're racist, you're not gonna be on the mat with a man of different color. So it's kind of one of those things. It's like, I feel that jiu-jitsu kind of like shows you how to be humbled for those scenarios, and just that lifestyle of jiu-jitsu, man, it's powerful, you know what I'm saying? And I feel that
Yeah,
we spread love, you know. So
of course, we all know that there is racism in the world, and it's a big issue. But for example, for you and me, we have kind of like a similar backgrounds. We come from punk rock and hip hop background,
for
up
sure.
to the martial arts and jiu-jitsu world, which is also very diverse in cultures and everything. So for us, it's pretty. For us,
My
it's
dog gonna
pretty
jump
easy
out.
to, yeah. For us, it's pretty easy to kind of like accept all kinds of people because, for example, I've been growing up, even though I live in Finland, which is really prominently white community, especially when
For
I was a
sure.
kid, there was like only a handful of colored people in my city. But I've grew up always with all kinds of people and like every race and culture. So for me, it's really easy to, but for some
And man,
people, not
even
that
in
easy.
Finland, there's so much hip hop over there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's like, and hip hop, you know what I'm saying, has no color line. You know what I'm saying? We're all one. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I could understand exactly what you're talking about, man. Yeah, like I feel Finland. It's one of the places that is like majority white, but they're all open to all cultures. You know what I'm saying? And I've always known that about Finland, you know, and all those places around there, man. I feel that you guys are so welcoming to all, you know, and I've always appreciated that from those countries, man.
for sure, Finland has racism as well, and all the issues
Of
that every
course,
country in the world has. But I think as well that Finland is very inviting culture. Like it's we're a little bit of like a rural culture, but still at the same time we try to be as global as possible in this world. So
for sure.
it's pretty cool. But hey,
I mean, I've been over there twice, and it's been
yeah,
you know, I've always felt safe. I've always felt welcome from everybody, you know.
yeah, yeah. Even the Mexican guys.
Even exactly that, man.
But hey, talk about hip hop culture, and your background is b-boying.
Yes, yes.
Before jiu-jitsu, you were a professional b-boy.
Yeah, man. I traveled all over the world with me and my crew, the Freak Show, you know, and we've always kind of had kind of like a punk rock style in hip hop, like that was my crew. Like we were kind of like the abstract style, like the
crazy
punk rocker
mohawks and
kids,
stuff like
crazy mohawks. Yeah, we were like the punk rock kids in hip hop, which we kind of took it like upon ourselves, like kind of like Africa Bambaataa of like b-boying, you know what I'm saying? Like kind of like that style, even though Africa Bambaataa was hip hop, like he was still like punk rock and electro, you know what I'm saying? And it's like that's kind of like the style that we had. I've always been kind of like into like punk rock music, but I've also like enjoyed like my hip hop culture, and at the same time I've always been into like drum and bass and trance, you know what I'm saying? So it's literally like a blend of those three primary cultures, you know what I'm saying? And it's like ever since I was a kid, I've always been into like my punk rock, but I've also always been into b-boying, and I've always been into like electro. So it's like literally like three cultures combined into one, man. And like that's kind of how I grew up, man. That's my background, and it's like a lot of people don't know, what I'm saying, necessarily from jiu-jitsu that's my background. Even from b-boying, they're like, well, he's all punk rock, but I'm like, dude, I've been into electro since I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? Ever since the day of like Daft Punk and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Like I was the first one bumping that shit in my school, like everybody's like, what are you listening to? And I'm like, oh, this is Daft Punk, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like so it's always been kind of like, since I was a kid, man, I can't remember not enjoying like, you know what I'm saying, electro, and not enjoy punk rock, you know what I'm saying, and hip hop at the same time. So it's always kind of been like a mixture, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of people didn't really understand how it was like, how you all these things at once. And I'm like, man, it's just what I'm into, it's always been kind of like that style, that scene, and it definitely made people misunderstand what I was really about. But I feel that that's the perfect reason why I was in a crew called the Freak Show. You know what I'm saying? You have a bunch of oddities into one, you know what I'm saying? And it's all blended in to create this amazing show. And I feel that that's kind of like what my crew was about, you know what I'm saying? It's like all these oddities of these different backgrounds and genres, and then we're all mixed into one, man. And it doesn't matter what state, country you come from, man. Like you're always welcome in the Freak Show.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Just want to shout out to the people in Instagram in Finnish.
Go.
Elikkä menkää ihmeessä YouTubeen BJJ Suomi-kanavalle, ja näet siellä myös Richin naaman, ja mulla on vieraana Richie Martinez, Planet San Diegon perustaja ja vetäjä, niin BJJ Suomi YouTube-kanava, niin sieltä löytyy. Kysymyksiä voi esittää myös Instagramissa tai sitten YouTubessa, jos haluaa heittää kysymyksiä tähän live-aikaan. Just telling them to go to YouTube, and if they have some questions, they can post questions here as well. Yeah,
awesome.
That's also one thing that is pretty. I didn't even know that you have that diverse like musical background. I know that you were in the punk scene, and I know you were in the hip hop scene with the b-boying, but like I as well, I grew up with the like a hardcore punk music and heavy metal music and also hip hop music, and went all to the raves and shit like that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So it's like a freedom of being who you ever are. But hip hop got you in jiu-jitsu as well.
Yeah, definitely. I feel that it was kind of like the same freedom of expression when you're on the mat. You know what I'm saying? And hip hop is all about a freedom of expression. You know what I'm saying? And being yourself. No matter what background and stuff like that. And I feel that jiu-jitsu shows the same thing. It doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter who you are. Like you're always welcome on the mats. And it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful art, and I feel that me coming up in the hip hop culture, like you always want a new challenge. You know what I'm saying? I feel you always looking for something better, something good, and once I found jiu-jitsu, I kind of ran with it, man. Like the way we fell into jiu-jitsu was we were teaching at a breakdancing / jiu-jitsu studio, or not breakdancing, dancing / jiu-jitsu studio. And we were welcome on the mats, and that kind of like, we just went the whole way, like I feel the first time I was on the mats, I never wanted to leave again, man. It was such a beautiful experience for me, like, and it was a humbling experience. And I feel that that's the reason why I fell in love with it so much. You know, it was so humbling, but at the same time, it was fun and it was free, you know. And I fell in love with the competition aspect of it at first, you know, like that was my main priority, like being the best competitor, you know. But as year went along, like now my main focus is like being the best instructor that still competes, you know. Like I still want to compete, I still want to do all that fun stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like I want my students to be able to shine. You know what I'm saying? Like as an instructor, like that's what you really, that's gonna be your future. You know what I'm saying? Like your legacy, your lineage. You know what I'm saying? And it's like now it's like that I'm older. It's like I've already established myself well enough. I still want to establish myself even more, but people understand who I am, and they see the style that I'm bringing to jiu-jitsu. Now I'm able to show them my jiu-jitsu through my students as well. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that I'm in love with that thought of that. You know what I'm saying? The thought of showing my jiu-jitsu through my students makes it all better, man. Like that makes me very happy.
Yeah, you have the network of 10 Planet Freaks. You have like 3-4 gyms right now. Three at least?
Yeah. We have 4 gyms in San
4
Diego
gyms.
at the time. Yeah, 4 gyms in San Diego, but then they just opened, or one of my students, one of my black belts, he opened up a 10th Planet in Perry, which is in Georgia.
Oh,
And then
nice.
I have another student that is in Texas named Tony, and he opened up 10th Planet Mount Pleasant, right? And those are 10 Planet Freaks schools. But
Nice.
we also have people that are kind of like not black belts yet, or not able to open up like their like a full 10th Planet. So we have a Freaks Jiu-Jitsu in New Zealand,
Oh,
and then
nice.
we have a Freaks Jiu-Jitsu in Canada that represent the style that we do, and eventually they'll become 10th Planet, but they're a little bit lower level, or they're not black belts yet, so they have to rank up. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it's a little bit harder for them just because they're not with me all the time, so I can't help them get better. But man, they're doing an awesome job with those schools. You know, 10 Planet New Zealand and 10 Planet Alberta, Canada. You know, or not 10 Planet, Freaks Jiu-Jitsu, Alberta, Canada, and Freaks Jiu-Jitsu, New Zealand. You know, they're doing great jobs with their programs, and man, they support us so much, and vice versa. You know, like it's a beautiful thing that people are wanting to push what we represent, what me and Gio represent. You know, and it's like it's a special thing, man, because you know you don't, when you start jiu-jitsu, you never think that it's gonna be to that level that people want to represent what you do, and then you know, before we knew it, people wanted to represent us and wanted to represent what we do, and it's been such a like humbling experience, and it's been such a like honor, you know what I'm saying? At the same time, it's like, man, like we didn't start this for that. We started this just because we loved it, and you know, and then that kind of expressed people to like what we do, and it was awesome, man. It's been an awesome ride, and it's only the beginning. I feel like, man, like I'm barely like in February it's going to be 10 years that I've doing jiu-jitsu. So I've only been doing jiu-jitsu for 9 years right now, you know, and it's like it's been very, very cool, man. Like I like to see all
Yeah.
this.
Well, you and Gio with the Freaks, 10 Planet Freaks, you are I think, probably the only one, at least the only one on that scale that has like their own network of schools that work with you guys. Of
Yeah,
course,
man.
10 Planet is huge global phenomenon. Phenomenon?
Yes.
But inside 10 Planet, there's not like another group like the Freaks that has other schools under them. Of course, the schools that you have started
For
with
sure.
Gio and PJ and guys like that, it's a little bit different. But also, there's schools that follow you guys and kind of associate them with you guys, especially inside the 10 Planet. I
Yes.
know you bring a lot of energy, like yours and Gio's, especially yours energy is like way above most people's energy. like it's awesome to see how you teach and how you like interact with people anyway. But do you think that it's just the energy, or is there something that you guys do a little bit different that people actually want to be associated with you inside the 10 planet instead of just be associated with 10 planet?
Man, like I do feel I have good energy, you know, but at the same time, it's like I treat people like I would want to be treated. Like everything that I do, man. Like if somebody wants to take a picture, like I don't care where I'm at, I'll be like, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like to me, like jujitsu, like you know, it's such a small community. It's not a huge community, you know what I'm saying? Especially the Nogi Jiu-Jitsu. It's even a smaller community than Jiu-Jitsu worldwide. You know, it's like, so it's like, man, like I just take any chance that I can, and I try to, like, anybody that supports me, man, I'll support you 100% back. And I feel that, like, the community is so small that we have to support each other. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, like, I'll go beyond to make people comfortable around me, or I'll go beyond to make people comfortable in my school or in my classes, you know? And it's like, it's just because I understand that it could be taken away like that. And it almost did, you know. Coronavirus showed that jiu-jitsu could be taken away in a heartbeat, you know? So it's like for me, just giving that energy to people, and making people that I know that I appreciate them being with me, or being at my school, or just saying hi to me. I want you to know how much I appreciate that, man, because, man, it's a dream that I never knew I had. It's a dream that like I said, could be taken away in a heartbeat, man. And you know, like, it's a real, so it's like, for me, anything that I do at this time, like, or even in the past, you know, like you have to appreciate it to the fullest, man. And it's like that's the energy that I want to give to people. You know, I want you to know that I appreciate you, no matter what it is, whether you love me, whether you hate me, man. We're all in this together, and it's such a small community that all we could do is support one another.
For sure, yeah. Well, you have a big school in San Diego, and all these students around America and around the world at the moment. What is your kind of like teaching philosophy? What is the things that you emphasize when you teach?
You know, for me, like, I try to be as open-minded as possible. You know what I'm saying? I study very much, and you know, I want everybody, like for me, like, kind of like how the way that I was taught is like, be open-minded and let people be themselves. You know what I'm saying, on the mats. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that Eddie, once he told me that, it kind of made me realize that there's more to 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 the structure of just jujitsu. Like, you could be a real person, a human being on the mats, you know what I'm saying, while doing jujitsu. And it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter, you know, you're heavy, say, you're small, say, you're tall, you're short. Doesn't matter, man. You just have to be open-minded and welcome all jujitsu. You know what I'm saying? For me, like, I still go around. I still go do. I'll go support gi worlds. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because I want people to understand it. It's like, jujitsu should be open-minded, and I'm open-minded to all jujitsu. Maybe I don't do the gi, you know what I'm saying, but I'm open-minded to it, and I want people to understand that I appreciate it. And I feel that that's kind of like the way I took jujitsu, and the way that Eddie kind of taught me, you know what I'm saying, like, be open-minded to jujitsu, because, man, I could learn from everybody. You know what I'm saying? I could learn from a gi guy. I honestly studied gi jujitsu just so I can understand and maybe mix it up so I can make it no gi jujitsu. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just being the open-minded and just being free on the mat. I feel that that's kind of like the way I see jujitsu, the way I preach jujitsu. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel it should be closed down. I don't feel we should close any doors, man. It's such a new sport, because it is pretty new. It's fairly new, man. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have like different martial arts or different combat sports, they have been there for ages. You know what I'm saying? Like, for us, we're barely stepping, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not as new as like MMA, but we're part of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all that stuff just falls into one, man. So it's like, we have to understand that it's so new, and there's just so much more opportunity and so much more moves to come up with. You know what I'm saying? Like we've seen most of jujitsu, but what about the transitions? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I can learn from everybody. I can learn from everything, whether it's gi, whether it's no gi, whether it's wrestling, whether it's judo, man. And it's like I feel just having that open-minded, man, has helped me grow in jiu-jitsu. You know what I'm saying? I feel that gave me no boundaries. You know what I'm saying? It gave me no boundaries. It pushed me to look at jiu-jitsu as a whole, instead of just like this is jujitsu and that's it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, there's so much more to it, you know? And it's like, I feel that helped me understand it better as the art. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, it's not just like combat sport, it's also an art, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like a mixture of those things. And, you know, having that as like a concept of jujitsu, dude, that's the reason why I became the person that I was, man. Like if Eddie Bravo would have been like, this is the way you do it and no other thing could happen, dude, I wouldn't have been where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel that that's the concept. That's kind of like the way I see jujitsu, the way I preach jujitsu.
Yeah. What is the biggest thing that you have gained from jiu-jitsu? Not talking about achievements or anything like that, but
No, of course.
what is the thing that you have gained from jiu-jitsu the most?
You know, you know, coming from a background of hip hop, punk rock, electro, it's like we are very misunderstood, and a lot of us are very angry. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're so misunderstood that it almost kind of like some people, it starts creating some sort of anger, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, it showed me how to be at peace with myself a little bit better. You know, I wasn't always angry, but you know, I saw myself a little bit more angrier, not like shouting and stuff, but inside, you know, like inside my heart, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't understand things, but it showed me a little bit more how to be at peace with myself and what's going on around me. You know what I'm saying? Like there was no violent person coming out anymore. It was more like there's a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like it showed me how to be humble and how to appreciate the small things, you know, and just because fighting every day, being on the mat, it shows you how to calm yourself down and see things in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like we shouldn't be violent right now. We should be fucking understanding what's happening and kind of diffuse the scenario, you know. And it's like I feel that the beauty of jujitsu showed me that, you know what I'm saying? Like the art of jujitsu showed me that. And I feel that, you know, that's why I always preach, man. Like it's like there should be more people doing jujitsu, you know, like it showed me how to be, even though like, dude, hip hop is all about peace and freedom and expressing, but at the same time, man, like it's like we are the minority, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like it there's different things that happens when you're living a life as a minority, you know what I'm saying? Like and vice versa, you know what I'm saying? Just being in a world that's so corrupt, man, there has to be some sort of peace. And I feel that, like I said, jiu-jitsu showed me that. And that's the biggest thing that I've ever gained in jiu-jitsu, you know what I'm saying? It's like how to kind of like be a little bit more at peace with myself, I would say.
That sounds
And
very...
I'm sure for many it has too, you know, because like I said, man, we've all come from different backgrounds, man, and we've all dealt with different scenarios. So
yeah.
Understand, you know what I'm saying? Whether it's with work, whether it's with school, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like it shows you just kind of like this is your zen, almost like in a weird way, like a yoga mentality, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean. You think if you wouldn't find jiu-jitsu, or you would have found a different, like you said, if you wouldn't found Eddie to be as open as he is, you might not be training jiu-jitsu? Do you think still you would be doing international tournaments and competitions in b-boying, or would you be doing something else?
Yeah, man, that I feel, you know, even though I was b-boying and stuff like that, I mean, I had to have a full-time job, you know, like I feel that b-boying doesn't, for some it does, but man, it's hard to find a good living off of b-boying, you know what I'm saying, off of breakdancing and the hip, like, you know, so at the same time, for me, like it was hard to make a living just through b-boying and through dancing. So I had to have a full-time job. So for me, like I was working full-time, I was dancing, you know, and it's like for me, like I would have kept that life going and I would have been okay with it. You know, I was working at a warehouse. I had different jobs, of course, but my last job was a warehouse job, and you know, lifting boxes, you know, saying loading trucks, stuff like that. And you know, it wasn't the easiest life, but I was living it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was doing it every day, and I had no problem with it because it was providing food for myself, my wife, and I was able to pay rent, and I was okay with that. You know what I'm saying? But I felt that I was stuck in a comfort zone, and I was like comfortable, and I was like, I guess I could do this, and it's like I didn't want to expand that, man. But I feel that if it wasn't for Eddie and the 10 plan system, I wouldn't have been able to be happy in jiu-jitsu, just because of the fact that they helped me, they showed me that I could be myself and be comfortable, you know what I'm saying, on the mats. When I see other schools, I go to other schools, and I always see like, it's a little bit kind of like straightforward and you have to bow and stuff like that. That's good for some, you know what I'm saying? For me, I'm happy that I didn't have to go around that side, like Eddie Bravo treated me like a brother instead of a student, you know what I'm saying? And I feel that made me, that helped me become family, you know what I'm saying, to him and to the 10 plan system. So I feel that because of that, I feel more comfortable doing jiu-jitsu, and I feel that that's the reason why I stuck with jiu-jitsu, you know what I'm saying? Like it made me want to stay, you know what I'm saying? Like it made me want to be there. And at the end of the day, it's like I would have been comfortable living a life of b-boying, and I still, to this day, I still b-boy. I just don't compete anymore, man. It's hard to compete at the high level in two different worlds. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard. Even when I was doing like full-time jiu-jitsu, I was trying to fight MMA. I fought 12 fights, and it was very hard to kind of keep the balance. Like even though jiu-jitsu is part of it, it's like I wanted to be good at both. I wanted to be a world champion at both. I couldn't. It was very hard. It's like you see a lot of jiu-jitsu guys become world champions and then go to MMA. But I was already older when I started jiu-jitsu. So it's like I was trying to be both at the same time. So it was very hard thing to balance, and it's like, but when I was fighting MMA, it was made it even harder because when I was fighting MMA, I was still competing in b-boying. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I was doing three things at the same time, and it was very hard. And I saw that I needed to choose one way, and I felt that like I still dabble with everything, you know what I'm saying? But the main thing that I needed to stick to was the thing that I loved the most at the time, which was jiu-jitsu, you know what I'm saying? Because there was a time that all my love for b-boying went into jiu-jitsu, but it wasn't the love of b-boying, it was the love of competing for it, because I love them all the same. It's just I find more passion competing in jiu-jitsu at the time than I do for anything else. And I have the love for all of them the same. Just I compete. I find more excitement at this time competing for jiu-jitsu because, and I feel it's because I've competed for b-boying for so long, and I competed for MMA smaller time. You know what I'm saying? But I felt that I wasn't getting as good in like Muay Thai and boxing than I was in jiu-jitsu. So I'm like, this is where I'm successful the most. So it's like, do that the most, So there was a time that I had to really think about it and realize what I needed to do to make a better life for myself. And thankfully I chose the right one, and I've been successful with it, with my accomplishments in competing, and then also my accomplishments in creating a better life for myself.
We have had some questions in YouTube.
Yeah.
Ille Petri is asking, even you are 10 planet instructor, do you or have you trained in the gi, and your opinion on gi versus no gi? You actually a little bit went through about that before.
Yes.
About your idea of gi versus no gi, but how about training gi? Have you been training gi or competing?
I've only trained in the gi once, and I competed in the gi once. So I wore the gi twice. You know what I'm saying? So, and I trained in the gi actually before. I trained in the gi before, just to support friends and stuff like that. Just I wanted to support my friends, and I wanted to put on the gi and train with them because they would train with me no gi. So it's like, could they ask me, and I said yes. And then also I competed in Iowa when I lived in Chicago for a little bit. I went there and I went for a no-gi tournament, which was a no-gi and gi tournament. And the no-gi tournament was first, and I competed in it, and I won first place. I won all my matches. This is when I was a purple belt, And I went against a couple brown belts and a couple of MMA fighters, and I won very fast. And then I was sticking around, and I was about to leave, and I drove 4 hours, but I only had like 2 minutes and 30 seconds mat time. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, that sucks, you know, like. And then one of the guys is like, hey, the promoter is like, do you want to put on the gi? And I was like, I've never done the gi. So I've only wore the gi once, blah, blah. And then he's like, come on, like put on the gi. Like, we need one more guy. And it's an 8-man tournament. And there's only 7 guys. You would make it better. No charge, no nothing. And I was like, well, I don't have a gi. He's like, you can borrow my gi. I'm like, I don't have a belt. He's like, you can borrow my belt. And I was like, what belt are these guys? Are like, some of our brown belts, some of our purple belts. And I was like, oh, I'm like, all right, let's go. And you know, I jumped in, and I did my first 3 matches were really fast. Like, I won very fast with Darcis, all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, bah, bah, bah. So I used no grips or nothing. And then my last match, some guy had like a collar grip, and I couldn't get out. So we lasted like 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then once I got out, I swept them, and I Japanese necktied them with the gi. So it was very cool. It was a good experience because I felt I didn't know what I was doing, and it kind of like I still had training. Like, dude, I didn't even, the promoter helped me tie my belt because I didn't know how to tie my belt. Yeah. I just literally wanted to tie it like my shoe, you know what I'm saying? But no, I got you. And I was like, I feel embarrassed. He's like, don't. He's like, don't feel embarrassed. I'm like, all right, cool, man. So it was kind of like a funny experience, and I'm happy I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gave me a little bit more appreciation for the gi, you know, at that time. Because at the time I was kind of like, I don't even care about that, you know. But it made me appreciate it, so I started studying a little bit more gi. And you know, for me, I appreciate gi. Like I think like a lot of my friends do gi, and I like going to support them. And when they do the gi tournaments, like the Pan Ams and the Worlds and stuff like that, you know, like I go, if I know that one of my friends are competing, I make sure I go and I go support them. And you know, for me, like the no gi scenario, I think is ridiculous. You know, like for me, like it's all jujitsu. It just, you know what I'm saying, like it's same concept, same idea, same structure, same respect for the sport. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But there should be no reason why you should discriminate for one another. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you like one, cool. If you like the other, cool. If you like both, even better. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I started in a school that's on no-gi, you know, and it made it easy for me because I feel that b-boying, it's a real fast movement sport, like art. You know what I'm saying? And I feel that made it easy for me to do no-gi. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so fast moving, it's fast, it's explosive. So it made it a little bit easier. I feel the gi is a little bit more controlled and a little bit slower than no gi. And I feel that made my decision a lot easier. And it wasn't even a decision. It just made me appreciate it a lot more because I'm like, oh man, they're moving so fast. It almost looks like breakdancing, you know what I'm saying? So that's the reason. So like I said, for me, like jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu, and we have the same ideas, and we have the same passion for sports, you know, or for the arts. But at the end of the day, it's like, it is separate. It is 2 different things, you know what I'm saying? They come from one thing, you know. It's like, and it's a form of grappling, and it's, both of them are very beautiful, you know. But for me, like, since I started in no-gi, I fell in love with that the most.
Yeah. About dancing as a background for jiu-jitsu, especially for the competitive side of jiu-jitsu, I think, especially in looking at like 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu, the most like the fighters from 10 Planet that has done the best in 10 Planet as a tournament wise, like you, Gio, and Elvira, you're all dancers before you were jiu-jitsu fighters. Do you see the correlations between like being a dancer, being able to move your body like 3-dimensional before you start jiu-jitsu? It kind of helps you to develop in jiu-jitsu faster, kind of. I mean,
the main thing that I see in that is like, we understand how to move our bodies in ways that nobody has before. So you can't put me in a position that I've never seen before. I've been in that position before, even if I don't know where I'm at. Like, I understand where I'm at and what I need to do to get my everything back together. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you get flipped and you're like, where am I at? You kind of like like you don't understand where you're at. For us, it's like we have to take it upon ourselves to already find out. And the way we're moving is like, oh, I've been here before. You know what I'm saying? You also have like you have this weird connection with the movements that you're doing. And you know, a lot of people, it takes them years and years to be able to understand that. For us, we've already known that as white belts, you know what I'm saying? Because we come from a background of dancing, that's all we do. We're putting ourselves in different positions that it's like nobody's ever seen before. You know, like a lot of things that come from dancers is originality. You have to find your original self in dancing. You have to be original in one way or another in dancing. And I feel that because of that, we've been everywhere you've never been. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel that as dancers has helped us a lot. And that's why I feel that there's a lot of good connections with dancing and jiu-jitsu, you know, and it doesn't matter what kind. It's like you understand movement, you even understand how to fall. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's like you get thrown on your back, you already know that what you need to do to come back up. You know what I'm saying? It's like we understand that, and a lot of people don't, because man, at the end of the day, it's like b-boying. It's like you're falling with style. You know what I'm saying? Like you fall in the floor with style. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you throw me, I know how to come up with style. You know what I'm saying? On a single leg, on the arm drag, and it's like, how was it so fast?
I'll come up and I look good while doing
it. Yeah. Like the best thing that I could say, it's like in Polaris, like I was going against Miha, and I didn't know he was a judo like black belt, and he fucking judo tossed me on my back. And before I knew it, I already arm dragged him and I was on his back. You know what I'm saying? It's like I already knew where I was at. You know what I'm saying? I just needed to like apply what I needed to do, and I was already in a good position. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that kind of like it's a good you know what I'm saying, like description of that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like you could toss me on my back. I already know where I'm at, and I know what I need to do to come back up.
Yeah, for sure. Another dancer turned to world-class jiu-jitsu fighter is Venla Luukkonen, who was a two-time black belt world champion in gi, who is actually our next guest with her wife on the next Sunday in BJJ Suomi.
Nice.
But she was a modern dancer before she started jiu-jitsu, and she did capoeira as well as
beautiful.
Cobrinha did capoeira as well before.
Cobrinha did capoeira, yeah.
That's kind of like the dancing movement and all that three-dimensional movement. I think it's very helpful. So all the dancers watching this start jiu-jitsu, become world champion.
There's actually like a lot of breakers that they have, you know, like we have my buddy in Texas named Rudy Rex, you know, and he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he trains out there. He has his own school. And what's her name? She's a Caltero black belt. She's like a Filipino girl. Her name starts with the K. I don't know if she's done ADCC before, but she's a black belt world champion. Like she won worlds. She used to compete against us in breakdancing, which is kind of crazy. And now she's a world black belt world champion. What's her name? I go no, hold on. Hey Nora, was that girl from Caltera, like the black belt? Yeah, Christine. I'm not sure. Oh, whatever. But yeah, she's a really good black belt, and we have you know people like Mike Murda. I don't know if you know who Mike Murda is.
I know Mike Murda. I know his name, and I know him by his fame, but I don't know him personally.
Yeah. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt as well, and he's from like this world class crew called like Super Crew. You know what I'm saying? Like they did like all these TV shows that, you know what I'm saying, like they come out or whatever, World of Dance and all that stuff. Like you know, so you have a lot of b-boys, you know, and it's like it's kind of cool. Like if you hashtag break jitsu, you start seeing a lot of like break dancers that do jiu-jitsu as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we kind of always put that like I'll put it up every once in a while. I'll go like break jitsu, and it's like you start seeing all these jiu-jitsu guys. You're like, oh, he's a break dancer too. Like so it's kind of cool to have like another small community, you know what I'm saying, and we all kind of support each other and just kind of like you know we kind of appreciate what we do, man, because we all come from a different world, you know, and it's like it's hard to to be really good at something and then go to something brand new. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you have to start all over, man. So it's like we kind of support each other, man. And it's very cool to see like all these b-boys going into the jiu-jitsu world. I mean, it's
Yeah.
beautiful,
Yeah. I think I've tried. Well, Hat Solo from Finland has
Oh,
at least tried jiu-jitsu, and
yeah.
I've
And he's,
always
to be honest, he's such a cool guy. And man, like I love what he's doing with the strength and conditioning stuff and all that stuff. And man, he shows me so much love in what I do and b-boying, I mean, and jiu-jitsu. It's very cool, man. It's very, very cool the way he's supporting like the jiu-jitseros and stuff like that.
yeah.
It's been real cool to like keep in touch with him and see him grow and do well in what he's doing.
It's crazy how small the world is actually, like how connected we are. Like
For sure.
when I started dating my wife like 20 years ago, my wife's sister after that started dating Hat Solo. So I knew Hat
No
Solo when he was
way.
just a kid. And like I've always had a connection with his crew because his crew is from the same city that I am from. So I've known those guys, and it's so funny to see, like, I know you guys from a different place and you guys know them from a different place. So
That's freaking crazy, man.
so funny to know how small world
It's such a
actually is.
small world, for sure, man. It's for sure. And man, he's always, since I knew him, like, man, he's all him and his crew, you know what I'm saying? Like Flomo, like they've always been at the top. They've been top tier dancers since the day and it's like you would never like the b-boy community, man. It shows so much people from all over the world, and it's so dope to see a different community in jiu-jitsu that also shows a good connection all over the world, man. But they've always been the top tier dancers, like I've never seen them, like I've never even seen them mess up, to be honest. Like they've always been so sharp, like, and it shows precision and man, like I've always been a big fan of him and his crew, like it's been one of the best crews in the world for a very, very long time.
Yeah, I used to run these hip hop shows in our city called the Fix Mob, and we had like in the 90s. And I hang around a lot with skaters and b-boys and stuff like that, even though I never danced myself.
For sure.
One of my best friends was kind of like the top b-boy of our city, and he was kind of like
Nice.
the guy of like my generation at
Yeah,
that
yeah,
time.
yeah.
And we had our parties coming up, and he was like, dude, there's this young guy from this small place that he lived in, and like he's just 13, but could he come and like dance for a while, and his parents will pick him up by midnight or something like that. And I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
like if he's with you, I know you don't drink and stuff like that, so
For sure.
let him come, and his parents can come as well, and he doesn't, we don't like no charge or anything. Like I
For
want to
sure. For
support that.
sure.
That was focus, and he was like 13, and he came to my hip hop show just to so that
Focus.
there's a place for him
So
to dance with
dope.
some other people.
So
So that
dope,
was
man.
so
So
dope.
dope. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he
such a
was
dope
like
dancer.
13-year-old kid, like the same age as my son is right now.
Yeah.
And he was hanging around with us like at our hip hop shows and
That's
dancing.
crazy, right? Man, that's so cool. It's so cool to see you. It's such a cool connection with other cultures as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel that that's what's missing. I feel that we're so stuck in just like living in our bubble that it
Yeah,
doesn't show us new experiences or new people or how different people from different cultures live, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I feel that there should be more people like that. They kind of like let themselves open up to different cultures,
yeah,
different communities, you know what I'm saying? And I feel that, for me, like I've been in many, man, like I said, punk culture, the electronic, like trance culture, you know what I'm saying, the jiu-jitsu culture, the MMA culture, you know what I'm saying, like even the Hispanic culture, you know what I'm saying, like the minority, like no matter what it is, it's like, man, like these kind of things, like kind of mold you into a better person. And I feel that a lot of people don't ever get the opportunity. They're just like, no, I'm just doing this and I'm never doing nothing else. And I'm not going to hang out with those guys. It's like, dude, I've hung out with everybody, with the Tigers,
yeah,
with the skaters, like, and it's like, it opens you up. It makes you realize like what's good, what's bad, and what's right. You know what I'm saying? So it's dope to
yeah.
see you like being involved in different cultures, brother.
Yeah, we're having our reunion party next year, like 2021. We're gonna have like we tried to have like a big reunion party with all the kids from the 90s, and I hope we get all
For
the breakers,
sure.
all the graffiti guys, all the skateboarders, and everybody to come to those parties. And
That's so
I hope you
dope,
come there
man.
too. It's in
Dude,
Uvascula, so
let me
welcome.
know ahead of time. I'll go set up some seminar somewhere, and
July
I would
21,
love
we're
to.
gonna have seminar with here at the same time.
Let's do it, dude.
For
And
sure,
when is
yeah.
it?
July
When?
21, like
See, that's good. My,
2021
my
July.
birthday's July 28th, so it'd be a good way to celebrate my birthday. You know what I'm
For
saying? Go
sure,
over
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Please keep me in touch. Not this year, right? It's next year.
Next year, yeah.
All right, that's doable. Yeah, you gave me a year heads up. I can't say no.
Cool. We work something for sure. Last
Yeah,
time you
yeah,
were
yeah.
feeling, yeah, your schedule didn't manage to come to Uvascula, but next time for sure we're gonna make it.
Yeah, man. The scheduling was really kind of like up in the air because I was supposed to be there for a week. I only ended up being there for 3 days.
Yeah.
It was fucking crazy, man. But I really enjoyed it, man. I ate a lot of sushi over there. A lot of sushi over there. But it was very fun, man. I did the ice bath, the pond or whatever, where you go in the water and then you go into the
Yeah.
sauna. What is that called?
Avanda, ice swimming.
Yeah, and that was very cool. I don't know if I'll do it again, but it was very cool.
So
Do you do that
for people who
often?
don't know, if we have some, especially the California people watching this, there is a in Finland during the winter it's tradition to make a hole in the ice on the lake, and you go there to swim from the sauna, and it's pretty common. I don't do that. It's fucking cold, but a
Dude,
lot of
it's
people do
cold.
that.
It's actually, it's not as bad. Like at first, the idea of it made me like cringe. Like I'm like, I can't. It's fucking freezing.
Yeah,
But
well, it was like 0 Fahrenheit at that time that you were here. It was pretty cold.
yeah. But
And
but once I did it, like so the thing about it is like being in the sauna gets so hot. It's so freaking hot that when you go in the water, you almost don't feel it. And then like
yeah,
5 seconds happen, you're like, gotta get out of here because the warmness leaves your body and then it becomes cold. So it's like it drives you crazy. You have to go back in. So I did it. I went and I went back and forwards like 3 times. But yeah, it was rough. It was rough for sure,
yeah.
man.
But it's very good. Like when you, especially when you've been training hard and your bodies feel sore, like going from the extreme heat to the extreme cold and coming back and forward, it does wonders for your recovery and it
For
does wonder
sure.
for your blood circulation and stuff like that. So it's pretty
To be
cool thing.
honest, it made me it made me more relaxed after the long flight. You know what I'm saying?
For
Like
sure, yeah.
like it was a long flight and like I said, when I got there, we just kind of went straight to training and then the next day we went there and it's like it made me relax and I kind of reset everything, you know. So I feel it was
Yeah,
very useful for when I did it.
yeah. Uh, let's go back to the questions. We had a question from Topi, and he wants to ask you who's your favorite competitors from 10 Planet family and why? More as a
Um,
persons and not by their skills, but I would like to know about the skills as well.
of course, my brother is somebody. Gio was the first person that I seen compete ever. Like before I did jujitsu, like he started jujitsu prior of me, like a little bit before me. I didn't want to give jujitsu a shot. I was kind of like, nah, I'm a dancer. I don't want to do that, you know. And it's like I saw him compete, and I fell in love with the sport of jujitsu when I saw him competing. You know, like that kind of like made me love the art of it, and I love how determined he is to win. I love how hardworking he is. Um, you know, and it's like I see it all from firsthand perspective. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's definitely somebody that I really enjoy watching, whether I'm in the crowd or whether I'm in his corner or whether I'm watching on TV. I've always loved his energy and his mindset going into competition, and that's why he's my favorite. But I also love guys that I have helped get to a certain level, which is like PJ Barch and Keith Kokorium. Both of those guys come from a background, not necessarily a background, because Keith actually started with me when he was 15 years old. So he's been a kid. He's been my student since he was a kid. You know what I'm saying? But we pushed him to do wrestling, and PJ has been doing wrestling since he was a child, you know. So both of those guys kind of have that background of wrestling, but they're very open-minded to being able to do guard stuff and stuff like that. So that shows me that they want to be the best no matter what. Like they're open to learning a lot more. You know what I'm saying? That they even me, like I don't do many leg locks, but they took it upon themselves to study leg locks to be able to accomplish their goals. And I feel that because of that reason, those two guys are gonna be superstars because they're always willing to learn more. It doesn't matter how long they've been doing jiu-jitsu or wrestling, they're always willing to do more and push themselves more. So it's kind of been really cool to see those two guys blossom into the grapplers that they are now. So those are three. And then man, we to be honest, like I see a lot of those are some of my favorites, right? But then you start seeing like people like Nathan Orchard, you know what I'm saying? He has such a samurai mentality. I love the way he looks at the martial art, you know, say martial arts and jujitsu art in particular. The way he thinks about it, he's like the samurai of 10th Planet. You know what I'm saying? I see it as that, and the way he's such a unique mind, and he's very, as another person, very open minded. But the way he sees jujitsu, he sees it differently than me. I see it as an art, and he sees it. I see it as an artist. He sees it as a samurai. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it kind of like gives you two different perspectives. So I love seeing it just because he's so different than I am, but at the same time we're so similar. You know what I'm saying? But we just see it through different eyes. And yeah, those are some of my favorites. But man, I could if I'm honest, like I start seeing a lot of guys. Like as soon as you said this, like I start like picturing a lot of guys, and then I see a lot of guys that I train with. Like man, like a lot of people don't know Kyle Chambers, but they're gonna know Kyle Chambers. Kyle Chambers has been one of my best training partners since I was a white belt. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been coming up the rank. Actually, I was a blue belt when he was a white belt. We've been coming up the ranks together, man. But he's always been that little brother. He's still in his 20s, man. I'm in my mid 30s. You know, I'm 35. And he's in his early 20s. You know what I'm saying? And it's like he's always been that little big brother. You know what I'm saying? He's huge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he's always been so talented. And man, it became to like the point that it's like, fuck. He's kind of like, there's times that I'm like, fuck, he's getting the best of me right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he's gonna, I feel that the way he is and the way he was brought up, like kind of like getting beat up, you know what I'm saying? Like getting beat up. Now he's getting better. He's not getting beat up as much. Oh shit, now he's beating people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's been really cool to see that. And it's like, he has the same energy than I do. He has a really good character. He has a really good persona, you know what I'm saying? And very good skills, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you could put him anywhere and he's very successful, you know, and he does very well under pressure as well. And you know, I feel that this should have been his year, and it still might be towards the end, man. I see him doing well in ADCC. I see him doing well in whatever tournament he does. He's going to do very well. But you know, those four are probably my favorite competitors, or those five are probably my favorite competitors in the system at this moment. And you know, I see him. There's a lot more, you know, like Alex Magala. You know what I'm saying? Like that guy is crazy insane, and he also comes from a b-boy background. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and he's such a superstar. You know what I'm saying? Like he is so unique. You know, but you know, those are kind of like some guys that I needed to mention. You know what I'm saying? Like Alex Magala, Marvin, Jeremiah. You know what I'm saying? Those guys are very talented. Some of them are taking the aspect of being an instructor more than anything. So it's like you start seeing their students do well. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, oh man, that's kind of cool. Like I see a lot of Marvin in that, or I see a lot of Jeremiah in that, and it makes it very powerful because at the end of the day, it's like they're building their lineage, they're building their legacies, and yeah, man, those are some of my favorite competitors at the moment. You know, but there's a lot of purple belts and even blue belts, man, that are doing very well. You know what I'm saying? Like and I can't wait to see what 10th Planet does in the future. And how can I not even mention, oh, of course, Elu, you know what I'm saying? Like Elvira, like she's she's the best woman in 10th Planet, like by far. And she's such a massive superstar, you know what I'm saying? And of course, like even though he's not a competitor as much, he's such a good instructor, you know what I'm saying? Lodi, you know what I'm saying? Like he's one of my favorite instructors, man. Like I bring him for when I brought him for seminars, man, like his seminar has been so impacting to my game and to understand leg locks a little bit better and just kind of like concepts a little bit better, man. So yeah, man. I mean, I could go on forever just naming, you know what I'm saying, like people that I look up to in the 10 planet system and the reasons why, you know what I'm saying. There's so many reasons why I look up to these people, you know, and it's like, and that's exactly what I do, man. Like these people I look up to, you know what I'm saying, and I look up to them not only as people but as competitors as well.
Yeah, a lot of people in Finland. Well, we know that Elvira is doing very well in tournaments, and like people respect her, and she's had a great success. But in Finland, like we are kind of isolated here in the corner of Europe, and a lot of people don't even know how big and how well known Elvira and Lauri are actually in America, especially in 10 Planet community. It's ridiculous how well they are known there and how big their like presence is inside that community and in the worldwide jiu-jitsu community as well.
Yeah, like honestly, they're superstars. They're major superstars, and you know, they could go anywhere in the world and do seminars and just do amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like they're known all over the world, and you know, I'm very lucky to be able to know them. You know what I'm saying? Like they're awesome human beings, and you know, they're very inspirational and very they're very loyal as well. You know, they to the people around them, and to the team, you know, like to their team, you know, and I love, I, I had some of the best times when I went to Finland and went to their academy and you know, seeing how much they influence and kind of like support their team, you know, and like what they're doing for their students. And man, it was amazing being out there and seeing all that, because to be honest, you don't you don't see that a lot, you know what I'm saying? And you don't see how beyond they go above and beyond for their students in their academy and for the whole 10 planet system, man. And you know, like I went over there and I went to their school, and then I went to I'm gonna say wrong, Yane, like how do you Juan? How do you say that one? Joansu.
Yes.
Yeah. Joansu. I knew I was gonna mess it up. I ended up saying your name, right? More like your name. But Joansu.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know there was a U at the end, or is it O?
Yeah, W.
That's what it is, Joansu. Yeah. But yeah, dude, I had such an amazing time over there. Their community is fucking amazing. It's around like the college area, and just walking around, it was so cool. It's inside, I think, of a school building, right? Like when I went, and dude, it was very cool, man. They have some very talented guys there, and it was cool to see the other schools from around the area go and support them as well, because I think they only have like 3 schools or 4 schools in that area, or maybe 2 schools. I'm not sure. Two. Yeah, and there was the other academy came and they supported, man, and it was, and even though the other school supported, they had the other school had a seminar the same day.
Yeah.
Because I had to switch my days, and there were still people from their school that came to support, and I was like,
I think they kind of like changed their schedule a little bit so that a lot of people could go to the both seminars and stuff like that. So
and that was very cool, man, and that just shows the impact that jiu-jitsu does, because it's like they didn't have to do that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they did, and it was powerful because it supported both schools, you know what I'm saying, in different fashion. And man, I had, like I said, man, I had a great time out there in Jiangsu.
Yeah, pretty
cool. All right, cool. And yeah, man, but I had a both places, man. When I went to Finland, I was very welcome, and it was amazing, man. And honestly, like I'm very lucky to know the people that I do know from Finland, like yourself, like the people from Jansu, and the people from just all the academies over there, from Lori and Ilu school, and Yeah, it's just such a positive culture in jiu-jitsu over there, man. And everybody's been very welcoming to me as just like people, you know what I'm saying? Like just getting to know me, you know what I'm saying? Like even when I went to ADCC over there, like man, everybody was so loving and just like so about jiu-jitsu. And I didn't even know that people were gonna know me out there. And man, I was taking pictures all day and it was very cool, very humbling, man. And it's like you guys have a really good, powerful community out there, brother.
Yeah, yeah. Sean Patrick Morga, who is from San Diego as well, wrote a message on YouTube saying that being here in Finland for 5 years from San Diego, still haven't done the ice swimming. Sean, I think you should.
You should. It's definitely, it's crazy, but it makes you feel like, makes you breathe a little bit better. It makes you feel a little better. You should at least do it once, man. And I promise you that if you do it once, you might do it again. You know what I'm saying? Like you might be crazy enough to do it twice. So
well, he's crazy enough to live in Finland for 5 years, moving from San Diego to here. So
that's crazy.
Swimming in the ice water is not that big of a deal after that.
Not the worst. It's not the worst thing, for sure. For
sure. There's two things that I want to talk about, but first let's continue talking about jiu-jitsu because the last thing is not about jiu-jitsu. You were talking about earlier about you doing the Darcy's in the tournament in Iowa, and the Darcy is something that you do a lot, but also what you do a lot, and what was when we first sparred when I was visiting your school in San Diego. What little bit frustrated me and made me so happy was all the omoplatas and triangle setups that you did, which were like perfectly awesome. Like the omoplata, I think something that people know you from is the omoplata stuff and from the rubber guard. Does that come from the flexibility that you have naturally before jiu-jitsu, or is it something that you grew to like or something like that?
Yeah, it's exactly that. I grew to like it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like the way I could put it, the best way I could put it is like somebody falling in love with leg locks. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get people like they stuck at it, and you're gonna get people that are very, very good at it, like Craig Jones and the Gordon Bryans and the Nickies and stuff like that. So it's like I fell in love with rubber guard. So it's like it didn't matter like if people were failing at it, like I was still gonna do it. I had success with this. So it's like when a million people fail, it's like there's gonna be one person the right is above all, you know what I'm saying? And I felt that me like being so in love with rubber guard and just kind of like all the transitions, it's kind of like it made me study it more. And like when everybody was drilling different things, I was like rubber guard, rubber guard, rubber guard, rubber guard. You always have that guy that gets obsessed with something. And I feel that I got obsessed with rubber guard and the omoplatas and stuff like that. You know, it's like I fell in love with it so much that it's like it almost became my only game for a while. And then eventually I started gaining more things and more moves. But there was a time, man, that I didn't want to do nothing but rubber guard. And I feel that, you know, that made me, it didn't matter because there was a time that rubber guard was becoming a trend and it's like people were liking it and then it faded away, you know what I'm saying? But when it faded away, I was still doing rubber guard, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I've been very successful with it. And, you know, like I said, like maybe a bunch of people are not successful with it, but I've been lucky enough to be successful with it. And, you know, I'm happy that I fell in love with that. But my flexibility came from dancing, you know what I'm saying? I was never flexible before, but I used stretching as a tool to be better at it, you know what I'm saying? And it's like even in jiu-jitsu, like when people lift weights to get stronger, I stretch out to get flexible. So it's like you have to practice those tools to make yourself better, you know? So it's like my jiu-jitsu is so fluent. I mean, my rubber guard is so fluent because I stretch so much. And I stretch so much because that's a tool that I use, you know what I'm saying? Like some people use strength or work out to get stronger. I use flexibility to make my jiu-jitsu better.
Yeah. If you would give everybody one point about being successful in omoplatas, which is like omoplata is not that high level, like not high level, but it's not like the high percentage of submission.
For sure,
it's pretty 100%. Low
100%.
Percentage for most of people. I love omoplata and I love to do omoplatas, but I usually do them to set up a sweep or something like that. Because
yep, 100%.
Submitting with omoplata is really hard, but you have been very successful with submitting people with omoplatas. And after training with you, I was teaching a lot of omoplata stuff because I think I
Awesome.
learned a couple of tricks while tapping all those
For sure.
omoplatas and inspiring with you. But what would be the one main thing that would help people to get that submission out of the omoplata?
You know, there's different ways to do omoplata, the different factors to finishing omoplata. You know, for me, most of the stuff is like, think about it as controlling the shoulder, right? Because it's like a lot of people just kind of feel like throwing their leg and like kind of like sitting up so you can kind of start cranking. My whole focus is pinching my knees together and not letting the shoulder move at all. Like that's one of my biggest things. Even though that sounds simple, it's like it's easier showing you than telling you, of course. But it's like pinching my knees and kind of hipping into the shoulder. That way the shoulder gets locked and it won't move. So it's like I kind of like lock and then I hip into it. And now you're kind of like going face down with your shoulder out, right?
Kind of trying to get the shoulder on the ground as well.
Not necessarily on the ground, just kind of like literally like trying to like push it, like dislocate it almost. Like so you're like pinching your knees and then you're hipping forward. So now you're doing this. It doesn't even matter if it's completely on the ground, but it's just pushing it up. So now when you start getting up to your knees, it's gonna dislocate the shoulder. So you have to think about it as you really have to always remember that it's a shoulder lock. You know what I'm saying? Like it's 100% a shoulder lock. So the main thing that you want to do is lock the shoulder together, hip into it, and then start breaking it. I don't know if that makes a little bit of sense.
It makes. I think it makes a lot of sense. Especially pinching the knees together and not trying to like triangle your feet because
100%. So sometimes I don't even triangle my legs, to be honest. I just kind of like pinch my knees as tight as possible and then hip forward. And then people already start tapping out just because they feel the pressure on their shoulder. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's a shoulder lock. You know what I'm saying? So attack the shoulder.
On Instagram, Grappling News is asking if anybody agrees that BJJ Suomi would look awesome with a mullet. I think I would look as good with the mullet as a donkey with a bow tie. So let's not go. Let's not.
Right
let's
now,
not hope to see me with a
do
mullet.
You have it? Can you grow your hair or no? Or has that time passed?
I've passed. Yeah, I tried during the Corona lockdown. I had my hair like not trimmed for 2.5 months, and it looked like fucking awful. It was something so ridiculous. So my wife told me that I better get a haircut, or she will cut me
off, right?
But yeah, that about the omoplatas and submissions. There's one important thing in your life that I think is so awesome. You live in San Diego, which is of course in Southern California, and it's like 1.5 hours from Los Angeles and Anaheim, and you have a season ticket to Disney.
Yeah,
Disney is huge for you. I have Mickey Mouse on my watch, but
nice.
but Disney is really huge for you. You go to Disney frequently. You go there like almost weekly at least.
Yes. I try to go every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like even if I'm doing a seminar, like I want the like in a different state or city, like I try to make it so I get here early on Sunday morning or even Saturday night so we could go to Disney the next day. And it's kind of like that's like my day off. You know what I'm saying? I don't have classes. I train sometimes on Sundays depending on tournaments and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's my day off. It's my wife's day off. So what we want to do, it's just a place that like brings people happiness. You know what I'm saying? Like when you go to a place and there's thousands and thousands of people smiling, what is it going to do to you? It's going to make you smile. You know what I'm saying? So it's like every time me and Nora would go to Disney, like there was nothing else but to be happy. So for us, it's like when we go to Disney, it's just like our happy place. You know what I'm saying? Like no stress. Like, you know, even as a competitor, even though as much as I love competing, like it's stressful to compete, man. Like you have to train, you have to worry about it. Like, am I gonna win? Am I gonna lose? Like it's always kind of like something in the back of your head. When we go to Disney, there's no worries whatsoever, man. It's just me, her, whoever's there with us, and all we do is just have fun and just enjoy and just eat food, smile, happy, hold hands. You know what I'm saying? Like take cool pictures, and it's really my happy place. Like if anybody's like, you know, it's like just think of your happy place. Think of your happy place. My happy place will probably be there. You know what I'm saying? Like some of my best memories have been with me and her at Disney, just enjoying each other's company. You know, so that's why it's so easy to love it there. You know what I'm saying? Just because it's like, you know, it just everybody's happy, man. And for me, like if I could preach anything, it is love. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been saying that all day, man. It's like, and so it's like that's, to me, that's a place that I could find love with whatever it is, whether it's like with people walking around, seeing characters, riding rides, or just walking around holding hands with my wife. You know what I'm saying? It's always bringing happiness.
I always want to see the pictures of you and Nora in Disneyland with the rubber Mickey ears and everything that's like all the Mickey Mouse and Disney shirts and stuff like that.
It's so fun, man.
It makes me feel warm. Like seeing you guys there having fun and enjoying yourselves. You're being like adults, grown people there just by yourselves. You don't have kids. You don't have nothing. It's just something that you can enjoy by yourselves. So it's
well, I appreciate you saying that, man. It makes me happy.
it's kind of awesome. I've never been in a Disney resort myself, even though I've been in Anaheim a couple of times and stuff like that.
Yeah. You've been right across the street from it.
What?
You've been right across the street from it.
Yeah, I've been right across the street from there like 3 times. I've stayed there for 3 times, but I've never went inside because
you should next time you go, you should go to downtown Disney. So it's free. You don't have to go into the park, but all the stores are there. And
I've been walking there, but I've never been inside the like Disney resort.
And it's just music, and you see people still happy there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like okay, cool. But just imagine when you go inside, it gets even crazier, you know? So
next time I'm gonna be in California, I'm gonna hitch a ride to Disney with you and Nora for one.
Yeah, let us know, man. We'll go over there. It'll be fun, brother.
Sure, yeah. Hey, I think we've been already talking about 1.5 hours, so I think I'm gonna let you enjoy the rest of the days in sunny San Diego. And
yeah, it's pretty sunny over here. It's getting nicer. You know, it was kind of gloomy for a couple of weeks, but it seemed like there's a lot of sun coming out these days. So it makes you appreciate it a little bit better. You know, the beaches are open, the people are happy, and you know, without the rioting, like at night it starts getting a little bit crazy. But for the most part, man, it's been nice weather and it's been nice times for sure.
Cool. I really appreciate you taking your time to chat with me. It was fun. We haven't been talking for quite a long time, like face to face like this. Let people tell people where they can find you if they want to ask you for a seminar, if they want to visit you, or if they want to follow you.
For sure. The best place you guys can find me is in Instagram. And it's BOOGEY_TFS. So it's like Boogeyman _TFS, and it's like TFS, like the freak show. You know what I'm saying? So Boogeyman _TFS, or me and Gio also have like a website that we have a bunch of instructionals, and it's freaksjujitsu.com. And I believe that this is going to be the last month it's for free because of the epidemic. We opened up for free, but July 1st, I believe we're going to start charging people again. So take advantage of it, and hopefully you guys will want to sign up. So it's on freaksjujitsu.com.
All right. Go check them out. Go check the freaksjujitsu.com. Give Richie a shout out on Instagram, and I think you can find him on Facebook as well. Yes. Just stay safe, everybody. And
yes, please.
Spread the love.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for having me, my brother.
Thank you very much.